Dr. Davis, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Brian Davis. I'm President and CEO of Georgia Aquarium. I actually started at Georgia Aquarium in 2003. And now my role is to make sure that the conservation initiative we have, the research, education initiatives that we have in place, we significantly work hard to meet the needs of over 1 million to sometimes upwards of 3 million guests on any given week.
Oh, wow, that's a lot of people. All right. What is some of your favorite exhibits about the aquarium? Like, we just met you in the Predators of the Deep. That was an awesome experience.
What my favorite exhibit? That's one of the hardest questions I get. How do you go from whale sharks and manta rays and not have a tremendous amount of respect and appreciation for the majestic nature of those animals? And then I can move over to my shark exhibit, and you can have your heart beating out your chest as you see these animals up close, but also know the perils that they're facing in their natural environment. And if students and our guests are really getting the message that we need them to preserve these species in the natural habitat. But I got into this all because of dolphins. So they hold a special place in my heart. But I've had a beluga whale birth this year. So I love them all. And coral reefs just blow my mind. It's just the rainforest in the middle of an ocean desert, and you have this oasis in the form of coral reefs. So I have a tremendous amount of respect for all of these animals. So it's hard to pick my favorite. Of course, I love penguins too. Who can't love penguins, you know?
Yes, penguins are one of my favorite animals, like top bird species and top 2 marine animals.
There, huh?
Hi there, I'm Kaylee.
Hi, Kaylee, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. We're happy to interview you today. So what's a typical day look like for the presidency of the aquarium?
Oh, a typical day. A typical day generally involves me waking up at 6 o'clock, saying good morning to my wife, and then turning to my phone to make sure that the night went well with the exhibits. I generally get in sometime around 8, but I start getting updates as well as early as 7. If everything's okay with the exhibits, animals are doing well, and if staff's able to traverse in okay. I get in and I start getting reports the minute I get in about the entire operation, and then we prep and make sure we're ready to greet our guests. And from that, it's generally meetings, internal meetings about animal health issues, animal well-being, and then staff and guest concerns. We spend pretty much a portion of every day looking at reports and guest feedback and how we are going to treat things to make sure messaging and the information that we are relaying out to guests is appropriate. And so we work on that, and then I generally move from a portion of dealing with internal stuff to dealing with stuff on a national scale. Because our role as Georgia Aquarium, with all zoos and aquariums, being one of the larger entities, I usually start speaking to some of my colleagues in the zoo and aquarium world to see what's going on in their space. And also I serve on AZA's board of directors, so that portion also keeps me involved there. And somewhere between 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. I shut down my day with Georgia Aquarium and get up and start the next day again.
Wow, that's impressive. Thank you. How often do you get to walk around the floor and interact with guests?
I really have a goal of doing that no less than about 4 to 5 times a week. I just like getting out on the floor. It feeds a level of energy for me. It kind of gives you a sense that you're doing something much greater than what you sometimes realize that you're a part of. I just walked down in the shark gallery, Predators of the Deep, and I just heard a group of kids come in screaming as they saw a shark for the first time. And that, regardless of what I've dealt with during the week, that energy kind of fills you to go, everything that I've gone through this week is well worth it. They get it, they're excited, they're connecting. That's going to make a difference. So I do need the floor often to continue to feed me and get me through some of those difficult days.
Awesome. I'm sure it never gets old.
It does not get old. It does not get old.
All right, I'll ask one more. What's one common misconception about aquariums that you would like to set the record straight on?
You know, I think I appreciate you asking that question, actually. And one of the common misconceptions about aquariums is that we're just a place that holds animals for people just to come in and take a gander at and move on. That's not our role. Our role is to connect people to animals so that they can make decisions to change their behavior to preserve water environments, land environments, aquatic, ocean. We want to change how people see the world so that they can do things differently to make sure these animals and ecosystems are around for the long haul. And there's a second part of that, is that the level of passion and commitment that the staff that works here has for each and every one of the animals here, this is not one of those careers where you're working with these animals where people are they're not getting rich off of these careers. The richness is not financial. It comes from they've always wanted to spend their life working with dolphins or belugas, or they never thought they had an opportunity to see a whale shark up close, or a green moray eel and work with it, or to work on figuring out cultivation methods for coral reefs. But now they get a chance to do it. And they have a level of passion that goes along with that, and it's contagious, and we want our guests to feel that, and we want them to learn the stories and make those connections. So we're here for something much, much bigger than just having animals for people to be able to see. There's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes, and we have to change the world and make a difference so that these animals are around for my kids and my grandkids and my great-grandkids, and for a healthy environment. So the misconception, we do much more than what people see on the surface.
That's great, thank you.
Hi, thank you so much for agreeing to interview with us today, Dr. Davis.
Absolutely.
My name is Leslie Townsell. So I just have a couple questions for you. And one of those questions is, how did your department, how were you able to contribute to the work that resulted in the Georgia Aquarium being recognized as a Pognius as certified STEM provider? And can you tell us what that actually is?
My contribution to that, and my education team really played a significant role. But a lot of people don't know that I'm an educator by heart. That's my formal training. I'm an educator. And a part of my role, previous career, was I was over a STEM-based high school program. So the science, technology, engineering, math, and even the arts, that's all critically important to me. So when the education team said, hey, listen, we want to become a STEM certified organization, what do you think about it? I was like, absolutely, 100% I'm on board. And basically what it means is that recognition means that this organization has made great strides to ensure that the programming that we're putting together for education and the general public, we are making sure that we are fully integrating the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics into that program and helping to relay that message to our broadest audience. So every aspect will walk away with a sense that we are committed to making sure that we're enriching the knowledge base in relation to STEM-related fields.
That's awesome. That's really, really awesome. So my next question is, how can students get involved with the research at the Georgia Aquarium outside of internships and volunteer opportunities that you might?
Well, that's great. I'm glad you asked that question. But a big part of it right now, I think the biggest challenge we are dealing with is that as much as we want as many people here to be involved in the research, based on the current situation with COVID, it's been really challenging. But the part that's really beneficial is it's actually had us take a step back and say, what do we do that we can continue to have people involved, even though they may not physically be in this space? So we're exploring a whole range of opportunities in the short term where people can be involved with the research and conservation that goes on. But once that program fully gets launched again outside of the internship, we're going to expand that program greatly to figure out some other avenues to keep people involved here at the aquarium.
Fantastic. And to piggyback off that question, are there any universities or colleges that you guys have any type of partnership with that students can maybe look at PIs or advisors there so that they can work with the aquarium?
Absolutely. We want to work with as many schools as possible. So Georgia State we're working with, we work with UGA, we work with Georgia Tech, Morehouse, Spelman, Clark Atlanta.
You know I got to run for Spelman.
Savannah State. So we want to make sure, and Georgia Southern, I think we're also doing some programs with. So we want to do a lot of work right here locally, but we also want to expand a bit more regionally and nationally to get others involved in this program. Listen, we're the largest aquarium in the Western Hemisphere. One of the few facilities that has a president and CEO that is not your traditional president and CEO. We're going to utilize this opportunity to make sure we broaden the net for people that want to get involved and explore these areas to get people involved. I did not have that opportunity to see someone at the helm and have that as a vision for myself, but I do want to make sure that I serve in that role for so many others. So I'm excited about this opportunity, and I'm so happy to be interviewed by you.
And my last question is, do you have any advice for any budding marine scientists?
Keep your passion. Keep your passion. If marine biologists and marine science is your passion, keep pushing. I cannot tell you how many times individuals attempted to dissuade me from going from this route because they didn't see it as lucrative, they didn't see it, they never saw those things, but it was my passion. And when I had an opportunity to pursue some other routes, I continued to bring me back here because this is where I wanted to be. So now I get the opportunity I get my cup filled from the education because I get to make sure education is integrated throughout the space and people are connecting. I get my science filled by exposing people and getting STEM certified, and I get to be as close to all of these animals from around the world that I possibly can, and I could have never imagined it. It had everything to do with the passion. So keep your passion for it, and don't let anyone dissuade you. That's my biggest piece, because there'll be a million nuances along the way, but keep your passion.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you are so welcome. You're so welcome.